Hello friends, welcome back to our fabulous celebration of the end times, better known as degreelessness. I'm the adorable Shanghai Pete, your stunning and brave host, the people's champion, high-tech, low-life, 21st century digital boy, and the last and final Boy Scout. I hope you brought your rictus grin and an insatiable love for anti-industry diatribes because same as last week and the week before, that's what we're doing tonight. As we all know, the industry's long, slow march towards a complete and total embrace of unfettered disaster capitalism continues, and this past week has been no exception. Now, if you're thinking, is there a way this can get worse? Relax, there is, and we're going to talk all about it today. There's even a few things to talk about that are kind of fun, so that's... What, do we go with unexpected? Is it delightful? Is it merely slightly less than totally crushingly depressing? I don't know, let's find out together. It's time to get deep inside. First, we do have time for a quick recap of the week, and it began with everyone's favorite, no really, we still make good games, please believe us company, Blizzard. As we all know, modern day Blizzard, in the absolute best of circumstances, is a one step forward, 10 giant steps back kind of company. And nowhere is that more evident than the most recent news that Activision Blizzard CEO, the reviled Bobby Kotick, is taking a 50% pay cut. Oh, well shit on my fucking balls, a 50% pay cut you say? Well now, doesn't that just sound like a big old gleaming ray of sunshine on our otherwise weary world? And the answer to that is, well, sorta, but not really. For you and me, regular working class people with regular working class salaries, likely somewhere between 40 and 70k a year or something, if that got halved on us, yeah, that's a big fucking problem. But as I'm sure you all know, that ain't what Big Dick Bobby K is bringing in, no sir. And as you may have already surmised, this is not the result of the company performing poorly. After all, it's well known that ActiBliz has been rolling in profits from shit Call of Duty games and tripe like Candy Crush for many years now. No. This, to quote Yahoo News, appears to show a company reacting to criticism of outside executive compensation. Oh, my stars and garters, you may think. Well, that must be a good thing, right? Fuck the rich, help the working class. It's a good sign, right? Oh, not so fast. CEO to worker salaries, as you may know, have ballooned over 1,000% since the 1950s. On average now, Big D Bobby and other CEOs like him make like 354 times what an average employee makes, some shit like that. Good fucking God, right? Okay, so then how much did they cut down old Big Bobby K? After 3 major layoff waves over the past 3 years, in 2019 when they axed almost 8% of total staffers, then in 2020 when they closed the entire French office, and then just back in March when they kicked out almost 200 esports employees. After all that, how much are they punishing Bobby K? Well, he's now only making about $900,000 a year. Oh, well, years of disgusting moral decrepitude all wiped out. Oh yeah, justice definitely fucking served here. Who fucking Ray? Now, of course, as much as we mock that, and will till the end of time, I think we can all agree that regardless of the amount, Bobby Kotick earning any amount less money is a good thing. So, okay, there's a step forward, however small, and now Blizzard, of course, needs to take 10 giant steps back as they lose Jeff Kaplan, one of the few remaining devs over there with any actual talent. Having been there for almost 20 years, his main credits are mostly OG World of Warcraft, back then when it was still good, and of course Overwatch. Now keep in mind, there was no official Blizzard announcement of the type that you would normally see when a huge major staffer leaves. No ceremonial passing of the Overwatch torch, nothing like that. This was basically Jeff Kaplan leaving a note on his desk and then just not showing up to work the next day. And what does that tell you? Yeah, he was probably either driven out or had just finally had enough of whatever garbage has been going on over at Blizzard that's seen them nosedive their best franchises into the fucking ground over the past decade or so. You can see Jeff's statement here, as well as the statement from the guy taking over for him on Overwatch and Overwatch 2. Whoever the fuck Aaron Keller is, I bet that just fills Overwatch fans with confidence, right? So, yep, womp womp. Again, we've been saying it for years, and we just continue to be proven right. Just like BioWare, Ravensoft, Sledgehammer, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and now, looks like even Toys for Bob, and so many other studios before them, Blizzard, as we've known it, is fucking dead. Also this week, we got some super fun news about everyone's favorite company to either hate or love, depending on what the Access Media's marching orders are for that week, CD Projekt Red. As you may have heard, the particular set of digits that have got everyone desperately debasing themselves on social media in feverish, sad attempts to have someone pay attention to their hot take are these: 30,000. 30,000. What does it mean? Is that a profit margin, a salary, a bonus, sales figures? Oh God, please, I need a reason to be outraged over that number. Give me one, Dad. Nope, none of the above. Actually, those are refund numbers. So, naturally, we get this discussion ensuing from gaming quote-unquote influencers and access media. Either people are saying, oh God, 13.7 million sales and only 30K refunds? That's a win for CDPR. They're not as bad as we thought. Oh, hooray. Or, conversely, you hear, oh my God, 30K refunds? That's insane. Cyberpunk definitely sucks. I just love sucking the cock of confirmation bias. As I'm sure many of you have already guessed, neither of those narratives tell the entire story, which I am about to. From Forbes, those 30,000 refunds are the ones that went through CDPR's Help Me Refund, which is a program that they set up through GOG, I think. The author also notes that they don't believe those numbers are only GOG sales, and I personally agree, as that program was also supposed to help with refunds from Steam, Microsoft, and Sony as well. Now, does that mean that the real numbers are like millions or even hundreds of thousands? No, of course not. Does it mean that the real number is even much lower than that? Likely, no. The only way to know for sure would be if refund numbers were reported officially directly from those companies, Sony, Microsoft, etc. And we, of course, know that they won't be fucking doing that. So, what's the point here? Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? What's the hot take? It's easy. There is no good guy, there is no bad guy. There's only fuck CDPR for being exactly what we've always seen them to be. Just another shit, abusive, exploitative, and fundamentally corrupt pack of lying ghouls that in between attempts to empty your wallet, occasionally release a software product that some people enjoy. The fact that I personally love Cyberpunk 2077 ain't gonna stop me from saying that. And if you thought it would, shame on you. Clearly you've been watching too much establishment media and content creator shillery. Finally this week, I do want to briefly mention my experience with the Resident Evil Village demos. I thought they were awesome. Awesome in that RE4, but first person and with werewolves and vampires kind of way. As I mentioned in previous videos, whether that means Resident Evil to you at this point, it's more or less subjective. To me personally, this is not Resident Evil. Resident Evil is survival horror, it's Umbrella, it's zombies, it's hold your fire, I'm a human. It's the master of unlocking and nightmarish labyrinthine corridors that couldn't possibly fit into the external geometry that they're located in. It's, that guy's a maniac, why'd he bite me? That's Resident Evil. This doesn't appear to be any of that, except possibly maybe survival horror, though it remains to be seen. However, that does not mean that this can't also be awesome. And with all the time locking and demo exclusivity they've been throwing around ahead of the full release, I think my friend said it best when he said, this is a flex. Yeah, likely this game is going to be super sick. Not a complete surprise, after all, usually at least one out of all the AAA games that we're ordered to like each year turns out to be pretty decent. So far for 2021, Resident Evil Village looks like it might be one of them. Now, for our main story tonight, we've got some updates on the PS5 situation. And by situation, I mean the maddening phenomenon of people being so easily brainwashed by social media that they're foaming at the mouth and shrieking like a cheerleader in ravenous pursuit of a system with no exclusives that apparently is already suffering from numerous hardware failures. Go figure. And it costs $500. And it doesn't play any games the previous system doesn't. Wow. The ability of social media to convince millions of people that they aren't seeing what they're seeing and that they don't know what they obviously know, it never ceases to nauseate and horrify me. All the usual stars are here though. We've got Bloomberg stories lamenting with utter shock and no trace of irony that, gasp, Sony's obsession with blockbusters is stirring unrest within the, and this is encouraging phrasing, PlayStation empire. Well, you don't fucking say. Who could have ever imagined that a myopic focus and insistence on pouring money into highly divisive and fractious IPs like The Last of Us would cause problems with the other first-party studios that, you know, aren't working on games called Last of Us or God of War? People, both devs and customers, are getting a little tired of that? Fucking shocking.
I think I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from that surprise.
Even Days Gone didn't sell enough to ensure the continuation of that franchise. Not that I'm necessarily upset about that, but you know. Not even close to done infuriating, again, both devs and customers. The amount of monstrous shit Sony's been doing just keeps on going. Not only are they doubling down on many of those aforementioned franchises instead of, you know, maybe focusing on a more diverse range of titles, they're also bringing them to even more potential customers. or wallets to use Sony's terms. And how are they doing that exactly? Well, by stripping out anything from them that would have allowed them to be referred to as a game, mostly, until they're nothing but just a few gigs of Call of Duty with shit controls. Just the raw essence of what makes them money, distilled down into a glorified JPEG with a price tag. And that's all they'd ever sell you to if they could, and trust, they're working on it, getting better and better at it every day it seems like. But you may be thinking, well, if they strip out most of the game parts of these IPs, what platform could you possibly still sell them to people on? Why, the same platform that most AAA publishers are already selling non-game versions of their games on. Your fucking phone! Yes, the Access Media has decreed that you must rejoice at the glorious coming of the likes of Uncharted and God of War to your iPhone. What amazing immersive experiences could possibly await us there? Oh, I can't wait to find out. Now, who would ever want that? Did anyone even ask for it? We've already seen how hard pivots to the mobile market have affected other large developers like Blizzard. So how will they affect Sony and more importantly their customers? Well, if you believe the establishment media, the answers to those questions are no one cares, no, and no one cares. Oh, whew, I was about to be concerned there for a moment. Thanks for reassuring me that you and your AAA masters will still be able to extract money from your comprehensively deceived community, Kotaku. What a fucking time to be alive. Yes, please, Dad, turn all of the franchises that I still have managed to hold on to even a fleeting affection for in this foul year of our Lord, and just strip them all down and toss them onto a fucking iPhone. Please, that's really what we need right now. And the truth of that is, of course, is that may not be what we, their customers, really need right now, but it is what they, the company, really need right now. That's gonna make them the most money. And when their goals of making money turn out to not be congruent with the goals of pleasing the people like us, their customers, well, we all know who wins that battle. How many more years left do you think we have of them even bothering to release on a platform that's not a phone anyway? 5? 10? At most? Ugh. Hard to come back from that, I think. We're still not done with Sony, though. As many of you know, my primary criticism with both the new Xbox and the new PlayStation have been that they do not offer me, as a customer, anything that their previous systems that I already own do not already. They play the same games, they connect to the same services, they ostensibly have the same controllers. And yet, both Sony and Microsoft, though Microsoft a little less so, seem content to just merely parrot the same hardware spec talking points over and over as their only method of justifying the purchase of extremely expensive new game consoles. Now, from a certain point of view, you can hardly blame them, as that strategy certainly appears to be working quite well. But that doesn't mean that regurgitating a stump speech on why your graphics are so awesome is going to be enough to sell me on it. It's not. I demand more value for my money, and I encourage you all to do the same. So while I know I've been harping on about how a barely perceptible increase in graphic fidelity is nowhere near the asking price of $500 for a fucking PS5, I've recently come across an image that really makes that point about as strongly as I think it can be made, so I wanted to use it as an excuse to talk shit about the PS5 even more, so hooray! Here it is. And here is me saying again, though I'm sure not for the last time, graphics are a dumb thing to use as a selling point. The only selling point for your new system. And this is why. Take a good look. The diminishing returns on the increase in graphical fidelity is laughable at the point we're at now. Embarrassing, mortifying even. So please, for the last time, miss me with any talk about how great the PS5 is. Demand more value for your money. Don't help Sony and Microsoft sell this garbage to people that, by and large, probably can't really afford it. Oh, but wait, don't shut the garage door and turn the car on just yet. There is actually some good pro-consumer news on the Sony front this week. I'll just wait a moment as you die of shock. Now, remember how they were going to shut down the PS3 and Vita stores and tell all their customers and devs that still rely on that infrastructure in any way to fuck off? Well, shock of shocks, they decided not to do that. Yeah. Crazy, right? Nope, don't soak your panties just yet, thinking about how good old Sony finally decided to do the right thing because they've realized the true meaning of Christmas and that they actually have their customers to thank for all their success, and perhaps maybe they shouldn't try to take as much advantage of them as can theoretically be squeezed out of every second of every day. No, Someone obviously just found some numbers that indicated shutting those stores down would not make them money, but actually cost them money. So they decided to roll that little decision back a bit. Not that I give a fuck why they did it, of course, I just care that they are doing it. I mean, after all, I still got mad PSN Tales games I bought for my PS3 to play, plus shit like my MGS Legacy collection. I mean, fuck, don't cock block me from Solid Snake, bitch. And with those profound words, I think it's time to call it a show. Thanks so much for chilling with us and spending this little bit of your free time here. We love you today. We love you all the way. Remember to keep it right here on Degreelessness. For more impish irreverence and gaming industry hot takes, then you can check a blunt at. 420 LOL, am I right? We'll see you silly bitches next week.